Let's firstly look at why does eating less backfire during menopause and beyond? And the reason is our body is different. And the way our metabolism worked in our 20s and 30s, it's not the same for various reasons. One being changes in our muscle mass. And muscle is our most metabolically active tissue. So with less muscle, our resting metabolic rate will drop, i.e. the number of calories we burn at rest will be less. And on top of that, we can experience an increase in our insulin resistance due to these hormonal fluctuations, which makes it harder for our body to burn fat efficiently. And on top of that, there's also a drop in our stress resilience. Okay, so how we respond to stress. Our metabolism reacts to stress in our external environment. And both undereating and overtraining are stressors on the body, as are poor sleep and emotional stress. So if our metabolism detects any of those things in our external environment, what it does, it pulls back and it slows down to conserve energy. So our body is always trying to protect us. And that means that you might have gotten away with these low calorie diets in the past, which are incredibly stressful on the body. But because that resilience to stress has dropped, it's going to backfire now. And effectively, what happens is our body goes into survival mode or low battery saver mode, let's say. So imagine you've got a phone, and as soon as the battery starts draining, it pops into low battery in a bid to save that energy. And that's essentially what happens to your body. Metabolism will slow. We might quite often end up breaking down muscle for energy, which is the last thing we want. Not only because muscle, as I said, is our most metabolically active tissue, but muscle also acts as a reservoir for glucose. So if we lose it, we become even more insulin resistant. On top of that, you're also more likely to feel fatigued, recover poorly from workouts, and just generally struggle on the bike. So many women I speak to have lost their mojo. They've got no motivation to train, beat themselves up. And as soon as we look at their nutrition, it becomes apparent why. There's a huge energy deficit. So there's a big gap between their needs and what they're actually consuming. So their bodies are effectively in low energy availability. And your body is not going to want to go and train in that state. Just small tweaks to nutrition, boom, it's like a light bulb being switched on. A hungry body will never perform at its best. So if you're going out whilst trying to lose weight on a low calorie diet and you expect your body to do intervals, push, long rides, it's usually not gonna end up very well. You'll end up struggling, and so many then lose the love for cycling. Not eating enough will also disrupt your hormones, particularly that stress hormone response. So that's cortisol, adrenaline. If your body is in low energy, cortisol will be elevated because your body is essentially fighting to preserve energy. And high cortisol has a domino effect. It's going to impact your sleep, and sleep, as we're going to discuss, is also a really important part of any body composition change. It can lead to higher blood sugar because of this increased insulin resistance. And cortisol favors fat deposition. So there's more fat storage, especially around the abdomen. Essentially, your body is smart and it's preparing for famine. So it's going to hold on to fat. So they're all reasons not to eat less. Lots. And I could go much deeper into it in terms of how detrimental it is for our health, our bone density.